All right. Congrats to us again. Bernie and Sid in the morning. Just awarded the most outstanding morning show in New York City by the New York State Broadcasters Association. 53rd annual award, and we win it. Didn't even know about it. See, Artie, this is where you got to be smarter. The great defense attorney, Arthur Aidala. You're great on radio. I don't say that because you're here. You can do your own show tomorrow, and you have. So last week, for example, you have the opportunity to host your own show, which is great. I've been doing it for 12 years, hosting my own morning shows.
That's all? Seriously?
12, that's it. Okay. So you got a chance to Philip Episcopo host your own show, and that's great. And you're
exhausting. All of you listeners do not understand what these guys actually do.
Yeah.
4 hours starting at 6 a.m. to talking, which means you're up at like 3:30, and Bernie's up at 2 or whatever time he gets up.
Not easy.
It's definitely not easy. And you got to try to keep it interesting and flowing.
You got to keep
the energy up and changing the topic.
You've only been doing it since the 80s. But
you do all that. But you do all that. You're good. You're great at that. But here's you got to be smarter. You have a chance to host that show, which nobody listens to. I'm sorry. Not
hold on. My mom was listening. My dad was listening.
Very important demographic.
Or you got a chance to end up on my birthday show, which, by the way, ended up in Talkers Magazine with Mark Levin and Lawrence Taylor.
And I was on your birthday show the year before, by the way.
Yes,
I looked at my, and that was the big birthday, right? The year before you turned 50.
2 years was my 50th. I'm 52 now.
Wow, really? You look very good. You work out? I just wanted, because I want to go on your Instagram page and really check you out. Looking at yourself in the mirror in the gym.
Very lame.
Wow, people better have a lot of time on their hands. Say, hey, what do you want to do? You want to go to the movies? Let's go see a program. No, let's go on Instagram and look at Sid's workout pictures.
See what Artie just did? He just turned it all around.
Exactly.
You were a brilliant
He's an attorney.
Yes.
All I'm saying is it's great to host your own show, and you're good enough to do it every day. I mean that. But you got to forego that when you have a chance to be on a show that just won the best morning show in New York City.
I want to know something. If you want to bring this up, you insist, and you, Sid, not Bernie, you insist that I am in studio, which I love being in studio.
Right.
But sometimes when I can't be in studio, you're like, no, it's better off in the studio. Then I hear Scaramucci, Tacopina, Lowry,
Bill O'Reilly, everybody.
No one's in studio. I'm the only guy who makes the effort to come here.
I'm the only schmuck that has to come into the studio live.
Well, because I like it because I get to see Joe.
Right.
Who's my flirty flipper friend.
Of course.
And I definitely think it's better radio to be in your guys' presence. Well, but, Sid, every once in a while, if I can't come in because I have to be a lawyer.
I put you on the phone.
I know how to beg. You don't got to beg. You don't got to beg.
I mean, look.
You want to bring this up? We could go, bro. Hey, Tacopina comes on every week. Meanwhile, the guy, if you had a heart attack, he'd be like, Sid, you all right? I got to go.
Let's get to this bunny right now. Okay?
Let's get serious.
Well, we get to psychology, okay? And there's something called penis envy. I'm serious. Little girls actually have penis envy. Why when you're the man in town, you got Harvey Weinstein's case today, you're on TV every day, you look great wearing a boot suit. What is this hidden jealousy of Joe Tacopina?
No, jealousy.
Oh, my God.
I probably helped to propel his career more than anybody.
I would go with rivery, not jealousy. Maybe a slight rivalry.
The guy wanted to go to Italy, right? Who do he has to go with? Me. You know why? Joe, his was his version of I speak Italian.
Yeah.
Pasta, vino, pane, which is bread.
By the way, do you know who Jose Baez called before you?
Joe Tacopina. I think he called
Joe Tacopina.
Really?
No, I made that up.
Okay.
Hey, listen,
we love Joe. I would say that, you give Joe a lot of airtime, and I'm just looking for, a little bit of love, Sid, just a little bit of love.
You're a great guest.
I love your wife.
You would win the award right now for Bernie and Sid's most outstanding guest.
Whoa!
All right, there it is.
You got it. You get a free bagel on the way out.
I'm glad we're speaking of legal substance this morning.
But look, Artie Aidala was on TV for like a dozen years on Fox News TV.
With
you were a big star. And I love Joe Tacopina in a big way. But there's no reason to be envious of Joe Tacopina. You guys are equal.
His daughter Olivia is my goddaughter. I love his wife Tish, and the bagels are here. Woo!
Yeah.
So have a bagel before you go to court, because you do have this very big Harvey Weinstein. Now, what do you got, a hearing today? A little pre-trial hearing. You have to decide what jurors can hear, what they can't hear. And truth be told, my wife is actually doing the argument. Marianne is arguing a big portion of the case. Well, that's how you got the gig. Baez wanted a woman, so he threw you on as a favor.
I think Baez, I think Jose Baez and Ron Sullivan just wanted someone who's been in that courthouse. And I'm not, Jose's from Florida, and Ron Sullivan's a Harvard law professor. you got to at least know where the bathrooms are, who the court officers are, who the stenographer is. Those kinds of things. That's why he brought us in.
Well, but look, on a serious note, I mean, Harvey, swift justice, whatever happened. This has been going on for like 3 damn years or something like that.
No, it actually hasn't.
The more money you have, the more you can postpone things?
No. Actually, it's funny you're going to say that. One of the arguments is the trial date is, statistically speaking, of New York trials, is about right now 6 months ahead of the average trial date. Average trial date from arrest to trial is 1.5 years.
Really?
And the court wants us to go to trial in about 13 months. So we'll see what happens.
Oh, so you're being treated unfairly, maybe you're saying.
Well, I mean, I'm not going to go as far as saying unfairly. All I'm saying, he's not getting any special treatment.
But Cy Vance, he put it off for a long time. Cy Vance took money from Harvey Weinstein.
I think what the allegations were, he took it from his lawyer. But that's that happens all the time, and that's not going to change. $2,000 campaign contribution is not going to let anyone flush their career down the.
You know what I'm surprised about, Artie, is that in a lot of these high-profile cases,
my mom gets annoyed when you call me Artie. She prefers it when you call me Arthur.
Okay, Artie. So listen.
Sorry, Mom.
Listen, Aidala.
I tried.
No, I love you, Mom.
It's great. You call my little 2-year-old son Artie in front of Marion. That'll be a woo.
She gets crazy.
Yeah, nuts. I don't know why. My grandfather was Artie Aidala. He was the famous boxing judge. And,
listen, my mother for years got mad when people called me Sid. She's like, his name is Sidney. Right.
Well,
so I get it. I get it. Your mom is right. So, Arthur, listen. A lot of these high-profile cases, we get to know the attorneys, whether it's you and Jose Baez in the Weinstein case, Tacopina, Vandersloot, Cochran, OJ, we get to know them. Maybe the biggest story in this city in the last year was the Vetrano case, and he's going to prison forever, Chanel Lewis, and I can't tell you one attorney that worked on that case.
I'll tell you why. It was legal. Right. It was the Legal Aid Society that represented
for him.
Correct.
Right.
And they did a great job.
But what about the prosecution?
I knew the prosecutor's name, but I don't.
Not
Well, because first of all, let's be honest.
There was no celebrities involved.
And it's also as much media coverage as it got. The way it works in New York, so people know, if the case is in Manhattan, it's huge. If it's in the federal courts, it's huge.
Right.
Brooklyn, now you're at levels, you step down.
Okay.
And then when you get to Queens, Staten Island, the Bronx, it's like, if there's some 20-year-old kid reporter who's trying to make his name in the news, they'll send them there for like the summations. I mean, I've handled big cases in Queens, and you don't get the kind of coverage you get when you're in Manhattan, Brooklyn, or in the federal courts. That's number one. I'm glad you brought that case up. There's just something in that case that's not sitting right for me.
Really?
The first trial, I think it was a 2-3 week trial. The jury goes out. They send back the first note that they are hung and they can't decide. And the judge lets them go home. He calls a mistrial. That is not typical. Normally, that happens 2 or 3 times. The judge gives them what's called an Allen charge and says, listen, everyone here has worked very hard. You guys have to go back in there, keep an open mind, start deliberations from the beginning, and really try your best to reach a verdict. That's after usually 2 or 3 or 4 days of deliberation, or 2 or 3 or 4 of those notes. In that first trial, he did it on the first time they came out and they said, we're hopelessly deadlocked. Something doesn't smell right there. And then on the second...
What are you thinking then? What is your...
Look, this is just what rumors are.
Yeah,
rumors are, the word around the courthouse was there was a possibility that jury was actually leaning heavily towards acquitting him.
Right.
And the judge disbanded the jury before that could happen. Now, I don't know if that's true.
Well,
I know this judge.
But they say
he's
the
an
judge,
ethical judge.
They say the judge was wearing the family's colors, that the judge was clearly on the side of the Vetranos. That came out after both trials.
Well, I'll say is that Judge Alois, who's a very nice man, and he's a good judge, he's a seasoned judge, but there's no secret. He leans towards the prosecution very heavily, as I would say the majority of judges do.
Go ahead.
And then in the second trial, I think the day of the summations or before the summations, the Legal Aid Society, those lawyers get a letter written by clearly someone who had inside information, had knowledge of what had taken place in the investigation, and basically said the investigation was not done properly. So then they asked the judge, Your Honor, could we just take a pause? Can we do a little hearing? Could we see call a witness and see if anything that's written in this letter is true and that this guy is actually being set up and framed, because there was so much pressure on the NYPD to solve this case. They found a simpleton guy. And, look, we're all pro NYPD. I love the NYPD stopping. But every once in a while, someone screws up.
That's what I was saying for weeks. I was getting killed in the episode doing
Let
right
me just say we should have you and Tacopina on the same day, because Tacopina and I agreed that the evidence was overwhelming, that his DNA was in her fingernails. He had cuts on his fists that were consistent with punching her in the teeth, and he confessed twice. I mean, among many other things. And that's Tacopina says that guy is dead.
The only thing that I question there is really the confessions.
Right, coerced.
I mean, Bernie, real quick. When I first became a defense attorney, I just left the Brooklyn DA's office. There were 8 people shot in the Fulton Mall in Brooklyn. It was all over the newspapers. The mom retains me. I go to the court. I go to the precinct, and the detectives think I still work for the DA's office. They're like, "Hey, Artie, how you doing?" "No, you can't talk to me. Lawyered up." I'm like, "Yeah, I'm the lawyer." Like, "Oh, that's right. We forgot." So I go in. The kid is absolutely crying. He's hysterical. He's like, "I didn't do this. I didn't do this." I go, "They told me you confessed." He goes, "Yeah, I confessed after the detective put the gun into my ribs and told me if I say this, this, and this, that they'll make a deal with the DA's office." Long story short, in 1 week, I found a video of him at Blockbuster Video in Queens 20 minutes before he's supposed to be shooting up the Fulton Mall. So unless he had a police escort from Queens to Brooklyn, the case was dismissed, and they found the guy who actually did it, who wound up pleading guilty and going to jail.
Well, you combine two confessions with the DNA
you guys
evidence.
are great radio hosts, and they were great. 99.9% NYPD guys are great. Sometimes there's a bad egg in the mix. Yep. That you want to talk about Harvey Weinstein? The lead detective here got thrown off the case because of improprieties that the prosecutor found out that he did, and they threw him off the case. So all I'm saying is, you never say never. That case, the Vetrano case, will be looked at very heavily by the appellate division.
There's no evidence of any of that, by the way. What you just said, it's all speculation. And
right.
The evidence was overwhelming. So
the appellate division will look at it.
Tacopina and Aidala should debate this.
It's like a Brooklyn.
I made that argument on this show for weeks and weeks. Everything from DNA to coerced confessions, you could explain all of it away. You can.
Let's get them on together. Tacopina and Aidala.
As long as there's going to be some Italian food.
You got it.
Preferably Sicilian food, like rice balls.
How about a nice...
Congratulations, all kidding aside. You guys won this big award.
How about an Irish sausage over here?
Whatever you want, Bernie. That's a big award you guys won. I mean, that's no joke.
Thank you.
And it's a real award. Like, people should... Like, nowadays, just so you know, lawyers, we get in the mail once a week... Pay us $300 and you'll be one of the 100 best lawyers in America, and you can hang it up on your wall. It's insane. It's crazy. It's criminal, really. But this is a legitimate award. And it's
you kind of just dismissed it a little bit, but thank you.
No. I said this is a legitimate award. I said this is a legitimate award.
Legitimately, we love Arthur Aidala.
All right.
Yes. We do. We really do.
I am going to spend all weekend on Instagram looking at Sid's workout pictures. I cannot wait to see how buff my man is.
Arthur, have a great weekend. Good luck today.
God bless.
Seriously.
You guys are the best. Thank you, Jill, for being beautiful.
On the Bernie and Sid Show on WABC Radio. We're coming right back.
Bernie and Sid in the morning, 77 WABC.